Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem, performed this afternoon by Peter Griffin and his dirt bike.
Guys, welcome back to DMXS Radio. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, thank our sponsors who make this possible. The great folks at Racer X, MX Sports, W Wheels, W Lab, their new custom shirt printing division, OGO Concept 2 Rowers, and of course, the great folks at Dunlop Tires. We appreciate all of their sponsorship and support over the years. And now it's time for your former Arena Cross Lights West champion, an amazing human being, Daniel Blair. What's up, DB?
That's a nice intro, man. Amazing human being has never been stated in my intro before. So nice start.
I try to bring you in with something a little bit different every time because you're so unique. You're the only Daniel in motocross. I brought that up last time. I mean, we try to always do something that shows your uniqueness, what you bring to the sport.
Well, I appreciate it, dude, and love talking to you. I don't know what we're getting into today, but I'm all about it. I'm actually, just so you know, I am watching the live timing of the Combine and Ironman. It's Friday afternoon. I'm supposed to be kind of winding things down, but dude, I'm heavy into this moto right now. It's tightening up. Landon Gibson's closing in on Enzo Timmerman. Just to give you a FYI.
Hey, can I tell you this? All through Loretta's and everything, since your time with the Orange Brigade amateur program, you are just as excited about futures and amateur racing as you are about pros. It's so cool to follow you on socials because you bring the same enthusiasm to amateur racing, and usually it only gets attention, during the week of Loretta's, and then you basically just bring the heat all year long. You always support the futures program, all of that stuff, and so you're still their point man. I love it.
Well, I mean, in reality, if you kind of split up my roles a little bit in life, Club MX has obviously changed things now because I am involved on the pro side there. But outside of that, I've never been super involved in the pro side other than on the entertainment side of things, as far as TV, podcasting. I'm more of a fan when it comes to pro stuff, but when it comes to amateurs, it's where my heart's at.
Yeah.
I'm in those trenches. And we've got Ryder Malinowski racing today, but of course, Landon Gibson, Luke Fowler, Clark Robbins, Deacon Deno. These are all my boys, man. So I might not be with KTM anymore, but I still care about those kids. So I actually am probably more involved passionately through the amateur side. And then as a fan, I'm a pro fan, I guess you would say.
So talent acquisition, does club, are they scouting, early on? I mean, you kind of doing that same amateur stuff too? Is it just pro stuff? What are you doing with club for talent acquisition?
Well, with them, it's definitely more on the pro side right now, just putting together next year's roster. On the amateur side, or as you would call it now, the SMX Next side.
Sure.
We're already done there. We have Ryder Malinowski and Jessen Turner. Those moves were made really quickly when I got on site. Kids that were already there, just locked them up a little longer term. But where I'm actually scouting is more for the future, say for 27 or 28 or even trying to get some 250B limited kids signed and on the property. So, definitely scouting at all times. Like in the NFL, they call it daily talent acquisition, which means you're always kind of churning and laying foundation for the future. And so I'm definitely doing that. But I would say for the club side at the moment, we're locked in on the amateurs. We're pretty done. But the pro side, that's where things are getting a little loose right now late in the season.
Did you think you would still be fighting Star Racing for amateur riders?
It's funny. I actually went to the same color brand, so I'm getting hey, keep your enemies closer. What is that old saying?
Yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yeah.
Yeah. So they think, oh, good, he's finally out of amateurs. It's like, no, I'm actually moving closer to you guys. So, no, I it's funny, but those feelings will never end. I'm too competitive, so I'll always be mad at Star for everything. But no, I'm on the pro side now of things, and just looking at filling out our roster for next year and stacking talent with Cody Schock and Max Bowen and making sure we have a good 26 lineup.
Can you, I don't want to talk numbers as far as like specific numbers, but how much more is Star Racing percentage wise spending on their amateurs program than all other OEMs? Like 50% more, 100% more, 200% more?
Well, I mean, I could be transparent with you and just say that Club has like no amateur support at all. We don't have any. We created out of thin air pretty much. So what we do is use the pro budget and use the pro bikes and parts to create the SMX Next program, which allows us to grab some younger talent and bring them up. But, Alexander Federstoff, Ryder Malinowski, Justin Turner, when we lined up at Pittsburgh this year for the SMX finale in Pittsburgh, that was all created out of nothing. There is no amateur support program for us.
Okay.
And Star gets the top end of the support from Yamaha, where the Altus program gets more of your true amateur support. But that's because Club hasn't had an amateur national team, and SMX Next is so new, and it's kind of this created thing in the moment. So that's kind of why it ended up that way. But no, Brandon Haas, he didn't want to be a pro team only. He wanted to go one step lower so that we could develop some kids, get them on the Supercross track early, and it paid off. Federstoff won that championship in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Justin Turner got a third at the Redbud Combine and a third at Daytona. He was an alternate that week. He got the call on Monday morning and went and got third at Daytona.
I saw that. But
amazing. No, there is no support for that. That's created out of the pro side just because Brandon wanted to do it. So there's I don't know what the pie looks like, but we're zero.
What are the SMX bikes like? Are they full bikes? Are they limited? I mean, what are you giving those guys to ride?
They're good, man. I'll tell you right now, they are. I don't know the engine side and the bike side as much. I got to be honest. It's one area where I am a little on the weak side on the technical stuff. But I do believe that they are pretty close, if not like as dead even as it can be, to the pro race bikes. I mean, I think they're almost exact, which is cool because that gives us an advantage. Because I'll say straight up, I don't think any other bike on the SMX Next track is as good as ours. I really don't, because Team Green, they have great bikes. Orange Brigade, great bikes. They're all putting good stuff out there. But our race bikes are like our pro bikes, and our pro bikes are just one tick off the factory bike. So
that's cool.
I think from a competitive standpoint, I think our amateur bikes are probably the best on the gate.
So when with the OEM experience you had with KTM and you've seen every other program, when you go to parents now and kids now, how do you sell them on Club? I mean, because the insiders know it's literally like a family. It's that kind of environment that would nurture talent, and you wouldn't get chewed up and spit out like a wood chipper in a bigger program. But how do you sell the Club now that you that's basically your job? I mean, I know there's some differences, but what you just said is one of the points.
Well, you say this. You say, a year ago, did you all know who Alexander Federstoff was?
Okay.
No. Well, he just won the SMX championship. A year ago, did any of you know who Justin Turner was? No, he's been on the podium twice this year, and that comes from the program. I mean, the tracks, the training, the structure, everything that kind of goes into the Club MX total build is unbelievable. Especially, I'll tell you right now, especially from like 15 to 18 years old, that really sweet spot in development. Club does it better than anybody. So the sales pitch to the family is the property, it's the facility, it's the tracks and the training. I mean, and we have other riders there too. The Phoenix Honda team, they're there full time. There's kids on the Orange Brigade that are there now full time. KTM's off-road division, their entire team, like the entire factory KTM off-road division, is housed at Club MX.
That's awesome.
The facility and the race team kind of sometimes get merged together as one, but they're really not. They're completely separate. The race team operates as its own business. The facility operates as its own business. And the facility is open for everybody. So I'm not just recruiting kids to hopefully be on our team someday. I'm recruiting kids to come on any brand and be on the property and get better, because honestly, I don't think anyone can develop these kids on Supercross like we do. So Yeah, the pitch is just the resume. I mean, look at these kids that no one's ever heard of, and look at the results they're getting, and that's happening because of what's happening on the property.
Dude, just bring one of your microphones without a cord and just walk into the parents' RV and just drop those two names, like you said, and just drop the mic and walk out. That's all you have to do. Have you heard it? Literally on the little tiny little kitchen table, and then walk out and then wait for the text.
Just send them a link from a couple races this year and be like, remember these? Yeah, that developed here.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah,
hey, and we got one more for you, too. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Lala, but she's always been good, so we're not going to sit here and take credit like, oh, Club MX created her. She has been a phenom forever, but she has taken things to the stratosphere this year as far as what she's doing at WMX, what she did at Loretta Lynn's, and that's because for the first time in her career, she's had a structured training program, and she came on board back in, like, May, I believe, is when she showed up. And she's gone to a whole nother level that can't be touched. So, the facility and the training, it really is. I mean, Jorge Prado's now on site. He's like getting an apartment in Charlotte because he says there's nothing better. And there really isn't. It's an exciting place, man. It's why I get up on Monday mornings at 5 a.m. and drive to club and then spend all week there. I don't come home till Friday afternoon. And I'm there 5 days a week because I feel like I'm at like dirt bike Disneyland.
Wow.
And it's an amazing place, man. Have you been before?
I have not been to club. No, I need to come up and visit you. I'm not far from you.
Dude, pick a day and just come and hang out for the day. And whatever you see online and on YouTube, it's not that. It's so much more than that. Brandon even, he's like, man, I don't get it. Everyone comes here and they're like, I would think the YouTube videos are showing who we are. And I'm like, no, it's different, dude. So, but you need to come.
I will. I promise you that. I owe that to you because you've invited me up before up to your studio and stuff. So I owe you a trip up to South Carolina for sure. Or up to club. I know where you're living, but listen to this. So you have been, part of this evolution over this last year, and you and I have similar values and stuff. So when I have this story on my thing. Well, let's talk about J-Mart. Let's just talk 5 minutes about J-Mart, what this year has meant to him, what he's overcome, and that's one of the feel-good stories that one of my favorite stories I've covered in 20 years is just this last couple of races of J-Mart.
Okay, so you said the right word there, story.
Yeah,
and that's one thing that's I don't want to bash the motocross movies, supercross movies that have been produced in the past. I don't want to do that, but I think there's been a kind of a little bit of a misfire in some of those where it's all been about the cool factor of supercross, and then the story took like a back seat. In reality, when you do storytelling or a movie or a TV series, it's not about the thing on the surface. It's about the thing that's deeper. It's the actual story behind it. And you could do a movie on J-Mart with only showing maybe 15 minutes total in a 2-hour movie on the dirt bike. There's so much more to his story, and just the injuries, the triumph, we'll actually start with the triumphs. Okay. He freaking won 2 championships pretty early, which was amazing. Then the lows, some of, the never moving to the 450 class, the injuries, the retirement, the working at the dealership, and then to come back and it not really go that great this year, and then to walk away again, and then come out for one final race to say goodbye, and then to win. That is a movie. That is a legitimate. Remember the Titans. Pick your sports movie, but that is a legitimate movie, and you don't even really need that much of the dirt bike on screen because it's the story of Jeremy Martin. And I'm telling you right now, when he won that final moto, and I don't remember the last time I felt that way. Well, no, Time Master Pole's win, I had the same feelings just because of his family history and his story.
What he's gone through.
But I'm telling you, dude, we have some movies in this sport that need to be produced that aren't really as much about the dirt bike as much as it's about the individual story. And so I'm glad you said the word story because that's what it is. It's an incredible. You could do a 30 for 30 on that.
Yes. And
blow away most stories because of the rise and the fall and the rise at the end, the climax. And Jeremy Martin's story, well, I don't know if you could touch that. To win your very last race at your hometown, I don't even know how that even happened, dude. That was so magical. But God, that needs to be a movie, dude. So bad.
And the Martins, the whole family are amazing. His brother Al, they're obviously awesome, and they're core to no matter what they've gone through. They're the American values are just instilled in that family, which makes so easy to pull for. But like you said, the ups and downs of that career, and even this year, I mean, he comes back, and just has horrible luck, and then it's like, man, that's kind of sad how he's going to end his story, because he told me that when he started on Yamaha, they still had carburetors at Star. So I mean, he's been there for a long time, and and then for it to end it the way it did was this storybook.
Yeah, you said the family dynamic too. It's not an individual story all the way with his brother and his parents and the journey. It is. This is a family sport at the end of the day. Like, it's an individual sport on the track, the glory, but you have your team around you. You have your friends, your family. That is all part of the story. And it's a great family. And it's such a huge congratulations to them and to him to have that day. He'll never live that down. Yeah. And I just really, really, really hope he doesn't get baited back into racing, because you can't end any better than that. So don't try, dude. Be done.
Yeah, RC it and walk away. I mean, I'm telling you that's the way to do it. I mean, that is it. Who would play him in a movie?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't really know like the younger generation of actors, but. Oh man, dude, we could have some fun with that.
Hey,
who would play Jeremy?
The older Jeremy would be Peter Dinklage. I mean, let's go ahead. That would be the grandfather, J-Mart, and he would be Peter Dinklage.
Telling the story to his grandson someday. Yes. Son, let me tell you a story.
And it would be Tyrion Lannister telling the story. How fucking cool would that be?
I don't know, but you could definitely Man, you could pick some great characters for that one, though. But yeah, I mean, what a rad story! What a crazy low to high story, which is what storytelling is. Storytelling really is about coming out and taking something to a high, and then you go through the low, and it's the challenges of overcoming the lows. And he had all these like little mini lifts here and there. Like you could go back to Daytona on the 450 where he got that one individual night that was cool. Like. So many like little things here that almost felt like a triumphant moment, but they never were the one.
Yeah.
And then of course, like those first two nationals this year went terrible, and it's like you could see in the movie where he's at his lowest of lows, and he's facing reality. He's filling out job applications again. What am I going to do? Well, you'll do one more, Ray. We'll let you have one more. And then he goes and wins it. Like, what a story.
Who would play Bobby Reagan? We could have some fucking fun with that one too. Holy.
Dude,
Satan,
God, that would be the best.
Can we just have the devil play Bobby Reagan, just sitting in the thing with his horns and hooves and just cussing riders out as they come in the rig?
Yeah, I mean, if I was writing the script, he would be the bad guy somehow. Yes. I wouldn't know how to write it all the way, but I would make him the bad guy.
Yes, 100%, and that would even make it better. It's like that would even make it somehow better that he overcame the darkness on both sides, the people he was riding against and his own team manager.
Yeah, you would have to do something super crazy, like the night before Millville at the very end, like have him arrested and taken off the property, and so then he comes back and wins because he wasn't even going to race because the team owner wouldn't let him, and then Oh man, don't get me started, dude. I'm gonna start writing.
Hey, the team, Bobby would be in like a shaded, just very dimly lit room, and he would just be dropping like bad press releases on his own rider, just like starting shit to fire him up.
Oh, dude. All right. Hey, if this ever happens, we'll sit down and we'll work out some details because I think it could be too fun.
It
was cool, man. It was one of the coolest moments of the year, of the decade, of ever. I mean, to watch a guy who was a former champion from over a decade before that win his very last race at his hometown track like that. And hey, you know the funniest part is too?
Yeah.
Jeremy, he comes off the track and JT tees him up for this big moment. And he didn't even play into it right away. He started, hey, we made some bike changes. I'm like, dude, shut up.
I know. He's that humble. He is that humble.
I know, but he didn't even understand his own moment, dude. And he started talking about like, well, I made some bike changes. It's like, dude, get out of race brain and realize what you just did, bro.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That is funny. Hey,
he's just so funny. Dude. Such a racer.
How far are you from club in South Carolina? I mean, like miles wise, and you stay there the whole week.
3 hours.
Okay, so it's not worth the commute.
3 hour drive. I get up Monday morning at 5. Get there about 8 in the morning. Kind of sort through a couple things that need to get done real quick, and then we have our Monday morning meeting in the clubhouse with everybody.
Yep.
And then it's just a 5-day grind, coaching, again, helping with the management side of the race team, the facility, just a little bit of everything. And then I also have my son there. My kid's with me, and this is really cool because, in my own dream chasing of television, it definitely was more about me back in those days, and I was chasing a career, and I lost a lot of time with my kid. Like I didn't get some of those cool younger years with him because for half the year I was gone doing my thing, and now I get him full time. Like he's with me Monday through Friday. He's riding on the property. We live together in this cool little like cabin bunkhouse now.
Oh, memories, baby, memories.
Honestly, like for a father and son, I couldn't have it any better than I have it right now with him. So that's another one of the rewards to this. Is not just work. There's a family layer to my life now that I didn't have before. So it's a dream come true, man. Honestly, if you just tie it all together, and then still doing podcasting and YouTube. So I'm getting a little piece of everything that I love to do all at once, but it couldn't have worked out any better.
Hey, talk about stories. You mentioned Prado. Talk about stories. Right now he's in a lull. He had his highs and now he's in a lull, and it's the experiment failed here, but is this a redemption story? What happens with this story?
Well, it's being written, man. That's the thing. I don't.
What's your heart
know.
tell you? What does your heart? And I will tell you this. I need to go back and listen because last fall I had Villeman on the show. I don't know if I told you this or not. Villeman called this verbatim. His struggles over here. He called it verbatim. I'm like, holy shit. Like he didn't like the Kawasaki fit for him. He knew he wasn't going to do good at Supercross. He thought he was going to struggle with motor. Dude, Villeman called this last September. So it was there for, if people were noticing or people recognized, it was there.
Yeah, there's too many factors that made this one really, really hard for him. When a young guy on a 250 comes over, you're racing against a bunch of knuckleheads like you. The 250 class is filled with guys that are figuring it out. They don't have it figured out yet. They're figuring it out. So you can make your mistakes, but you're kind of learning. But when you come over here in your mid-20s on a 450, you're racing against everybody that's polished up. Now, if you look at the class he's racing against right now, it's the nastiest it's ever been. It's so good right now. The sport is so good right now in the 450s. But then, you get off that steel frame onto aluminum frame for the first time ever. You have to learn all these new tracks, a new format. There was so many reasons why this was going to be a challenge. And that's why I came into the outdoor series with a lot of, I'd say, really low expectations on it. Mm-hmm. It has been worse than I thought it was going to be, but a lot of people came in hyped up because he is an all-world talent. But, dude, there was like 5, 6, 7 variables against him coming into this thing.
Yeah.
And I think where the messaging has really been messed up on his part is I think he's got a lot of legitimate excuses that he could use if he wanted, but he hasn't really used any of those. Instead, it's been this kind of bike thing. It's been about the bike. And it's like, that's one of the 5 reasons why this isn't going well. The other 4 are legit too, and he could be using those, but he hasn't really gone there. I think he's got a stubborn belief in himself where he feels like those things shouldn't have mattered, like new tracks and a new format and the way the Americans train. And I don't think that he maybe is taking into consideration how legitimate those things are against him. And that's why the messaging's been bad. It's been mostly about the bike. But, dude, there's other reasons why this first year was not going to go good.
What would you tell if you were his manager or parents or, what would you tell him to go back to Europe? Would you say stick it out here if he had options? I know there's no money in Europe as opposed to, here. What would you tell him to do?
Man, I don't know. I feel like most of the time I kind of got like solutions in my head, and I feel like it's sort of easy to come up with a solution on this one. I don't know. I would say realistically, if you're just black and white about it, there is no real other options back in Europe. Those are closed up. Yeah. And I don't think that's a choice. I think the choice is here. Then it comes down to, do you want to stay on your team or find a way off of that team and go somewhere else? But it doesn't look like that's currely available. It looks like everybody's landed where they've landed, and they'd get him a bargain price. So it wouldn't even be he'd be getting $250 money if he switched right now. There are no results to back up a good salary. Yeah, because the stock has dropped a little bit.
Sure.
So unless something like really weird and crazy popped up and opened for him, it looks like he would be where he's going to be. And to me, if that's where it narrows down to, is like, hey, this is where it is. Then I would say, big picture, you are making some good money, because I know he's making good money. So I'd say financially we are set. So let's take a look at this calendar now and realize that we got 2 more years here. That's 24 months. How can we make this thing work? And what I would do first is I would lower the expectations, and I would press a little bit of a reset, and I would start over, and I would prepare myself for a climb. Because think about it, if you look at contracts too, I always tell my amateur kids this too, when you look at contracts, you really got to be good in the final year of your deal, because that's when you're up and available. You could build leverage. It creates options for the future. So for me, if I'm him, I'm looking at 2025 as a wash. This year sucked. Whatever. The floor has fallen out. 26 would be the rebuild year, and I would take the approach in a way that I'm going to build to where when I start 2027, I'm at the best place I've been here, and then I would lay it all out on the line in 27, which would give me options in 28 to either go home or move in America, or it all works itself out and you stay where you're at. So it would be resetting the expectations, starting over, and building a plan to be great in 2027 when those options may come back available and you can rebuild some leverage. Because right now he doesn't have any. His stock is dropped. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the only way you would approach it, unless he could find some magical way back to the KTM group or some magical way back to Europe. And if those aren't there, then you got to ride it out. You have no choice.
Yeah. Well, is he working with Reedy full time? Or working with Reedy?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that's been the thing now for a while. And then Chad was on Instagram, I think, yesterday, back on an airplane, and talking about how much he loves it. And I'll tell you what, Chad does love it. Chad loves be competitive. Yeah. And he that's a thing about his personality that he can't shake. He loves it. So this is a challenge. It's a big challenge for him, obviously, but I think he enjoys that challenge. And I don't know the extent of the relationship, other than I know that when they're on site, they're pretty close. And I think there's a lot of guidance there, and a lot of the decisions that have been made over the last month or two that have made things better have come from him.
Yeah, and he's ridden every OEM. He's traveled the world.
He knows. He knows the game top to bottom.
He knows how to win, and I think he also needs some confidence. Somebody, and Chad's not a bullshit. He's not going to sugarcoat it either. I mean, if it's a bad day, you're going to hear about it.
100%. The one thing about Chad that's cool is he will, and I respect this, because he's just as bluntly honest as possible, regardless of whose feeling it may hurt. And he just throws it out there, and it is what it is. And at least when you have someone like that, it's authentic. It's coming from authenticity. He's not full of it. He's not going to fluff it. So if Jorge's in the wrong on something, he's not going to be like, well, let me be nice. No, he'll be blunt. And that's why I would definitely, if I'm Jorge too, I would keep him in my corner, because I do think that Chad, as tough as he may be when it comes to probably keeping it real, Jorge needs that. So I like the pairing. I've loved it from the beginning, and I think that might be one of his only keys to success in getting out of this thing.
Well, you've got the main event Moto 2. You've got the Daniel Blair show. My favorite part of the Daniel Blair show is the beginning when you flex your hat. That's like it's like are you ready to rumble? That is your okay, it's time. And when I see that, the first few seconds with your logo over top, I'm like, I'm about to get some knowledge. I'm about to get schooled, and I love that. So I love your hat flex.
I love that you feel that, but that's not even why I do it. It's because on one of my very first episodes I ever did, my hat was crooked, and someone in the comments said, dude, your hat's not even straight. And I was so pissed off that my hat was crooked that now whenever I sit down, I always make sure my hat's straight.
It's your pet cock. Are you making sure your gas is on your two-stroke?
Dude, it's making sure the gas is on, or making sure you have no dirt in your goggles. Yeah. I'm just making sure my hat's straight. And then my producer, because he's just smart and slick, he's like, that's your go-to. So all the thumbnails are always me straightening out the hat. But no, that came purely from having an episode where my hat was a little crooked and someone bagged on me in the comments. And I've told you this before. I read all the comments because I look for fault. If someone's just talking crap, then whatever. But if somebody says something and I legitimately am like, oh, man, they're right, I try to improve it. And somebody caught that early, and it pissed me off. So now the hat is straight every time.
You had a wardrobe malfunction. Your little nipple wasn't out, but that messed you up.
Yeah, that was my Janet
Jackson Super Bowl moment. That's awesome. Well, I will tell you this is going into your Deegan video. I was all about the 250, 450 formula. It's worked for everybody. I agree that he is not Jet or MC. He is not smooth. He's going to bust his ass a bunch on a 450. But after listening to your analysis and how you broke it down, damn you, Daniel Blair, you switched my mind.
That was my goal. Hey, it didn't work on everybody. And I will say, I want to be very transparent to everyone listening, so y'all know who I am. I think y'all know who I am. But I am not the type to say I am right. I'm not even like that, because I just throw out where I'm at and what I believe, and I like criticism. I like the other side, because the criticism and the other side helps me sharpen up my thoughts for future discussions.
Sure.
I'm really about the formula of learn more, change your opinion as it grows, whatever. That's just where I'm at today. And if anything ever was to change, I would say, I kind of don't really know if I believe in that anymore. But I do at the moment believe in all the points that I made, because of he's unique. He's not Jet. He's not Chase. He's Hayden. And one thing that they like to do is rush in a little early and throw it out there and say, we'll figure it out. We'll take our bumps and bruises. It's worked for him. And to me, I just feel like this would be the opportunity to do it best, because 17 rounds of Supercross on that 450, he's going to learn a lot with a little bit of a shield, because look, the fans are going to rip him when he loses, no matter what, because he throws it out there. But I'll tell you what, if he goes early in Supercross, I definitely give him a pass. I give him a massive pass first year, but not as much outdoors, because his buddy Jet went perfect his first summer. And if he's going to go in and follow the Jet path, well, you better do good, because Jet was really, really good. But if you go in Supercross and you go a little early, I'd be willing to give him a pass and say, hey, he's just learning. This is earlier than expected. He didn't get his second year at 250 like Jet did. And for me, for a kid who does best when he's learning, what better place to learn than under the shield of a free pass? And I feel like it would be better for him long-term to take those hits early while everyone is allowing it to happen, because if not, he's got some serious pressure next summer to be like Jet, and then he's going to come around and do his first full year of 450 Supercross, which is going to have bumps and bruises, but it's going to be a whole year later, and he won't have the excuse then. So I just think it's a better way to get to year 2 and 3 than the typical path that Jet and Chase did, because those guys they're a little different. They're not like him. He's more Villapoto and RC like, and he's going to have to take some lumps, and I'd do it early.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I love the chronological how you broke that down, but I love how you dropped that bomb early, where you said if anybody thinks he's beating Jet next year, you're on drugs. I mean, it was a full stop statement.
I want to be clear on that too. I'm not saying every single round. I'm not saying he's going to get skunked.
Of course,
I'm just saying, for those who think that like Jet's in trouble, no, Jet is not in trouble year 1. He's not in trouble. He will be in trouble by year 2. I do believe that. And a lot of people think that's a crazy statement, but I do think he'll get there, because mentally, I think Deegan has got the toughest mind in the sport. I really do. There's no one like him mentally. But physically, there's just too much to learn in year 1, and Jet is at the peak of his peak right now. And will he get a day on him here or there? Absolutely. Or a moto, whatever. So I'm not saying he's going to get skunked. I'm just saying he's not going to beat him in the championship year 1 in either indoor or outdoors.
You made great points in there. It's not going to happen. But everybody obviously everybody's listening to or going to the your YouTube, Daniel Blair in the main event moto. But I love how you broke it down. The beta outdoors didn't go well initially. One futures race to Supercross didn't go well initially. Then it went really well, and then to Supercross, full time. So it's like you laid out how they have done this. Like this. I don't know if it motivates him or this is what his carrot is, but this challenge helps him learn quicker.
It does. I don't think there's ever been a destination outside of winning the 450 class for him, and I think everything is a challenge and an uphill climb to get there. And I don't see him as being the type to just lay back. I wouldn't be surprised if right now he's bored out of his mind this summer, because he's just winning all the time. I think he wants challenges. I think he wants more, and I think he wants the top of the top. And so we'll see. We'll see if maybe they have more discipline and go traditional route. But I just feel like the Deegans, they carve their own path. They don't follow. They lead. And one of the ways that they lead is they're not afraid to go in on offense and tackle things that shouldn't be tackled right away. And I respect that about them. So to me, their history, based on the way he's kind of built, it just makes a lot of sense. But either way, it's going to be fun either way. I mean, he's going to get there. We have this Jet Lawrence, Hayden Deegan thing coming. But another thing I do want to point out to some of the fans that are freaking out a little bit, he does have to go through everybody else, and that's not going to be easy. He's going to have to go through a Hunter. and a Chase. And who's to say he even gets through those guys? It'd be unfair to just say he's going to automatically.
Right.
I think he can, but God, those are going to be some gnarly battles too. And Hunter's going to have to deal with it first. That's for sure. Like Hunter will deal with Hayden before Jett ever does, and that's going to be its own fun little battle because they already do have a little bit of a pass. So it's going to be fun either way.
Do you did you think like the 450 Buds Creek PR that how they squashed that? Do you think that just reflects how tightly their message is controlled?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. To me, that was something that was probably brewing, maybe still is, and it got out in a way that they wouldn't have wanted it out. Like, you think the Deegans want Bobby Reagan going to Racer X to release that information that way? They would never want it that way. Brian is way too smart and strategic for something like that to slip that way, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's furious over that, because if that all was going to happen, they would control that message their way, and it would have been done better. So that's my opinion on it. If I had to guess behind the scenes, I bet he's probably like, dude, that was an idea. That is not something that's going to happen. And if it is going to happen, we're announcing it.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Right.
That's what I think.
Well, let me give you some counterpoints here. So the hype leading up to A1, like the press conference, it's just different than everything else. It's our Super Bowl. Can he keep his damn mouth shut? Can he not say anything controversial that whole week where it would just erase all of his free pass?
Yeah, because as raw as Hayden is, there is a sense of control around it too. He's not. It's one of those things where I don't think he's just throwing it out there all the way. I think there's a little bit of a design behind everything that he says. Now, I do think that he has a tendency to mess up post-race sometimes. Like when he told everyone to suck it on the podium, there was no chance that was scripted.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other things he says, I do think are scripted. And as long as they go in with some self-control, he'll say exactly what he wants to say going in. It's post-race where he kind of blows it sometimes. And I think they can control it for sure.
Well, I don't have that confidence. I think that he will say something. He will be prompted by a question, or he'll say, or what I would love is for Jett or somebody to poke at him, because if they poke at him, he's going to poke back, and that's going to be fun in and of itself. So what about the argument of the 250s dominate another year? I know you made the argument that Davies and Seth and those guys are going to be better. But what if he dominates, sweeps Supercross, Motocross, and has that confidence going into next year?
Totally. I mean, totally. There's
Supercross.
That's the thing is the other path isn't bad. That's the one thing I'm saying. I have a creative, unique Deegan style pathway laid out, but the traditional path is still good too. There's a couple risks. There's only a couple risks, which is one, can he just go and dominate Supercross in the 250 class, which is very difficult. I mean, Ryan Villapoto didn't win his last year at 250 Supercross. He won it in year 2, and then he lost it in year 3.
Oh, that's right.
So, so if we're being honest here, it's not a guarantee he just goes and walks the 250 class, especially if he spends the fall and into the winter riding the 450 and developing, hops back on the 250, feels pretty good, and then goes to round 1, and you have depending on who's on that coast, if it was Juju or Seth or Davies, if any of those guys elevate and nail their starts and he doesn't execute it perfectly, there could be some serious issues next year in Supercross on the 250. So you are running the risk of going backwards a little bit. It's possible. And then if that was to happen, it's really hard to recover from in 2 weeks and then go racing at Paula with Jett Lawrence, Chase Sexton, Hunter Lawrence, and Eli Tomac. If you have a championship that has to go all the way to Salt Lake City and your focus is still on that 250 all the way to the end. So if he goes and walks everybody, then I get it. But even Jett didn't really do that all the way as last year. He had some RJ Hampshire issues, some Levi Kitchen issues a little bit. But Jett also has this unique mental ability to not really think about stuff. So to me, that blows over his head, where Hayden does read into everything a little bit more direct. And if he is going to Salt Lake City and having a race against Juju or Seth or Cole Davies and he loses a few rounds and loses a showdown, I think it's going to affect him more because he's going to get hit harder online during all of it. So that's the risk of doing it the slower approach, is just if it doesn't go perfect, he's going to have a lot to answer for, and he tends to answer to everything. So it's going to be a little wild 5 months when he could be just playing offense, beating new people every week, and going into Paula with 17 rounds under his belt and a lot of 450 gate drops. But it doesn't mean that he can't just go and walk the damn thing either, because he is that good, and that could happen. And if that happens, he could walk right in the 450 class and be great right out of the gate. So, again, the traditional plan is still a good plan. It just comes with a little bit of risk.
All right, so what about this one? As polarizing as he is, love or hate him, is it naive to think that a rider that was just on SportsCenter won't bring expectations no matter when he moves up? He's not going to get a free pass regardless of the haters?
Yes, from some fans, but I think that the majority of the people that have influence in media, which I would say like Weege is one that's pretty powerful based on the amounts of shows that he does. His reach, my reach has gotten a lot bigger, obviously, through YouTube. There's enough people, I think, that have a big enough reach that will educate the fan base right away that, hey, you kind of got to give the guy a pass. He is going earlier than expected. He's doing earlier than what Jet Lawrence did in his timeline. The class is the nastiest it's ever been. I think that right out of the gate, he might not get the pass from a few, but I think over the course of the first month, I think the fan base would be educated on the facts and the history of the sport that would say, yeah, you know what, this is kind of a free pass, and then he would get it. Mm-hmm. And I also think that if he went 450 early, he wouldn't be talking at all. There would be no chirping, no cockiness. You would hear Mr. Humble Hayden Deegan on his way in because they would know that's the safer approach. The whole tone would be different for sure.
Daniel, if he does go to A1, let's say, when would he announce it? Like, would it be the week before, 2 weeks? I mean, how much buildup would he actually have to admit to or lead into this with the team and saying he's going to do it?
No, it would be, hey, we're racing 250s. We're just doing a lot of 450 prep to get ready for the future, blah, 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 blah. Then he would go quiet for a while. You wouldn't see much. Then all of a sudden, late December, they would say, hey, you know what? We've been just loving this bike too much, and we decided that we're just going to pull the plug, or we're going to pull the ripcord, and we're going to go in there and see what happens. And we just want to do it. We've never been afraid of challenges, and this is going to be a big one, and we can't wait to race with the big boys. And you would hear it mid to late December.
Wow! But so it would melt the internet for 2 weeks. So there would be so much buildup and so much hype. But you think he would go social media quiet for those 2 weeks? That Brian would take his phone?
Oh, absolutely. And I also think that he's going to spend a lot more time alone this next off season than with the boys at the farm. I doubt he's going to be spending as much time with them. He'll go more the Eli approach. He's going to spend a lot of time by himself, developing quietly and alone. And so I think there's going to be a little bit of a mystery behind it anyway. And again, I could be way wrong here, but I just have this feeling that we're going to get bait and switched. It just seems kind of awesome.
I bet Brian, if this happens, Brian Deegan is so pissed that you just unveiled his entire plan. I mean, have you heard from the Deegans? I mean, this would be hilarious if Brian says, "Who the fuck told you this?"
No, I haven't heard from them since I put my video out at all. But that's one of the reasons why I did it, was just in case.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, he was already training by himself at Star, or at least I heard that was one of his things. So he signed with Star. He doesn't have a ranch in Colorado. Where would he train by himself? You mean just at Star by himself?
I actually got someone sent me a video in the last 48 hours. I got to go find it in my DMs, but apparently on TikTok, he put out a little bit of a video, and he kind of mentioned that he was building his own facility.
Okay.
And he also kind of mentioned on there how, he likes to check the boxes and how hungry he is for more. So a lot of the things that I've felt about him, he actually explained. I got to go find the video, but someone sent me a TikTok video where he just said all this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If they just follow through with the normal plan, okay, so be it. But he's in the other truck now. He's going to have his own gear deal. He's not pitting with the 250 guys anymore. He's going to be pitting with Webb and Justin Cooper on his 250, and it would just be so easy to just switch on over at the last minute. It just makes so much sense. So
that would be, but he's the kind of guy that needs his own facility. Let's face it. He's not a team player. There are probably people on his own team that can't stand him. And I think that, some would admit it and some wouldn't, but that's the kind of guy that, I guess he's earned that with as this hype coming up as the next guy. He's the guy that needs to go train by himself.
100%, and he deserves it, and he can do whatever he wants because Brian does whatever they want, and he's earned the right to do that. He's a true superstar, in my opinion. I don't think he has to play by all the rules, and Eli never had to play by all the rules. He does what Eli wants and what John wants, and the Lawrences do what they want. And Hayden is at that level. I mean, he's won enough, and he's big enough as a brand to be able to dictate what he wants to do, and he will do whatever he wants to do. I don't think there's going to be any pushback on that, especially once he goes 450. 250 days, you kind of got to play a little bit by the rules, and I think he's had to a little bit. Mm-hmm. But going 450, I wouldn't be surprised if there's big, bold, all caps in the contract, which is freedom of a lot of decisions.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like he does have that much value, and I would trust it. I trust Brian. They've mastered this pro thing, and it wasn't guaranteed that he was gonna. It was not guaranteed he was going to be this good, and they have checked every box. And Brian kind of really laid this thing out masterfully, and Hayden's backed it up. And so, yeah, no, I'm with them on that. They deserve the right to do whatever the heck they want because all they've done is succeed. So,
all right, so I thought about this leading up to the show. The ultimate Deegan way to do this is they have got a couple months here to lobby the AMA to change it where a rider can race both classes, come to Anaheim 1, Deegan races both classes. That's the only way that Deegan can do this in the Deeganist way possible, and that's the new verb.
Oh man! I mean that what is this? Travis Hunter in the NFL playing both sides of the ball? Is that what this is? It's like I don't. I mean, who knows? That's where the Deegans might not get their way. They might not get their way in the rule book. I think that's the only place where they maybe won't get their way. So I don't know. I like the idea though, but that would be that'd be a wild one. I mean, that was back in the day. They allowed that. That was what was crazy, man. I did that forever. I rode both classes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine if he comes out and wins the 250 race and goes and hops on a 450 in Anaheim in his home California crowd? They would just that would basically end the sport for media wise.
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing for sure.
Hey,
it's going to be amazing either way. We are healthy when it comes to entertainment. That's for sure. This sport is in great hands with the Lawrence family and the Deegan family, man. We are in for a wild ride. No question about it.
All right. So you mentioned in the video, which I thought was a good idea. He's got this whole off season, call up Bubba, RV, Reed, Dungy, everybody and say, hey, I need some help. He won't do that because that's not the Deegan way. But what would they tell him? I mean, the learning curve, other than the outlier of Dungy, which was insane. There's going to be some bumps in his riding style. There's going to be. But what would these guys tell Hayden Deegan as a 450 rookie? What advice would these guys give him, Daniel?
Probably just some of the emotional lessons that they went through. I mean, if it was me, like say I'm Hayden Deegan and I'm going into my first year on the 450s and I have a chance to sit down with all these legends, I'm probably not wanting to take much from them on the motorcycle because I'm not them. I'm myself. But I would want to know the emotional lessons that they learned in their highs and lows, because this sport isn't always just about handling your lows. It's about how to handle the highs. Like when things are going well, how do you keep that going? How do you handle getting on a run of 3 or 4 wins? You know what I mean? Everyone thinks it's just about how to bounce back from the lows. It's how to maintain the highs. And so for me, if it's Dungy, I'm asking him how he got through that final season with Eli Tomac. I'm asking him how he navigated his rookie season when he won the championship. I'm asking RV how he came back from his big injury that he had at St. Louis. If it's Carmichael, I'm asking him how he was able to overtake the king, because Jet's kind of the king right now. I mean, I don't want to use that name. It's not fair to Jeremy, but Jet is the guy right now. So, Ricky, how did you overcome the king and the top dog in the sport? And, if it's James, I'm asking James, how did you deal with Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT? I'm asking them how they dealt with different situations that made them who they are, and I'm taking a little piece of every one of them and just filing it away in my memory. Because again, Hayden is a great learner. He really does improve. Like when he was bad at Southwick a couple of years ago, what did he do? He went and mastered it, came back. He went with Chad Reed of all people. He went with Chad Reed at Dax Bennick's house, focused on it for a couple of weeks, came out and won, and he hasn't lost there since. So he likes to learn, and he gets better through knowledge, and those guys have history and emotional lessons, highs and lows, that he would probably be able to store away in his memory bank for when he has to face those. So it wouldn't be on the bike stuff. It would definitely be all mental stuff, I think.
All right. So Poly Market, if I submit this, what are the odds going to open that he is on a 450 Anaheim 1? What are the odds at Poly Market?
Well, the press release was 100% 250. I'm going to tell you right now, it's 50-50.
Wow. I love it. I think you gained this. I think you beat them to the punch. And I think they're going to do it. I think that this is, I would go 45-55 that he's going to be Anaheim on. I would go 45 that he's not going to be, or is going to be, but I'm close to 50-50 too.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm good either way, but man, if I get this one right, just remember that in late July, told you.
That is awesome. Well, here's the thing. I mean, you've given us some really, really, really good stuff to talk about in the off season. I mean, because let's face it, after SMX, we've got, how much fodder there is, and it gets pretty desperate when it comes to stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and that's the media side in me now. I love doing the YouTube. I love the podcasting. I think the sport is fun right now. The fan base is very engaging. I love the engagement part, and it motivates me every week. And the truth is we could have took 2 weeks off in that Loretta break and just said, "Oh man, let's just take 2 weeks off." But I just didn't want to. It's just too fun right now, and the sport is cool. And when the sport's cool and you can turn it up and get everyone fired up, I'm enjoying every minute of it. So a lot of self-satisfaction just being in the place I'm at right now, where I can be fun and playful with everybody and keep everybody into the sport that I love. I've always loved it, and I want other people to love it. And if I have the opportunity through my channels to entertain and make things fun, then dude, it's hard to take a week off.
All right, last moto question. Whose bike switch do you like better, Sexton or Tomax?
Oh, man. Oh, gosh, they're both weird to me, dude. They're both really weird. I'm having a hard time,
picturing
visualizing either of them, man. Like, the idea of Eli on a KTM with a Red Bull helmet is just so weird.
Jeremy's so pumped. He is so pumped to get that damn Warrior.
Oh, I mean, if you're Jeremy Malott right now, you're just like, dude, to be able to get Eli at the very end, no matter how it goes, it doesn't matter. He's a legend. Eli doesn't have to do well for people to love him. He's already past that. He's earned so much respect that I think he's in that forever legend category. So you grab the forever legend by the horns. I don't know if you caught that little play on words there.
I did.
Okay. But that one still visually is weird to me. But it looks like we're going to get to see it at World Supercross. It's signed up for 2 of them right now, Vancouver and Australia. So we're actually going to get to see it kind of early, which is
pretty cool.
Which is unique, because usually you'd think Anaheim won, but we're going to get some preview of that, which is cool. But the Chase to Cowie one, that one confuses me more, because I just don't see what Chase's problem is with where he's been. I don't understand it. I know both sides. I know Chase and I know the team, and I don't understand where the disconnect is there. I really think they're made for each other, and his best rides I've ever seen have come on that bike. I usually you leave a place over money, or you leave a place because you
bike
can't
sucks.
work together anymore, and that's not the case. I don't get it.
Yeah,
don't get that one, man.
And he did the same thing with Honda.
He's going to regret it. My prediction is he's going to regret it.
It was baffling when he left Honda. I mean, it's like, the one of the premier rides. Anyway, so, but
that one I saw coming because of the Lawrences. He was not going to share
the spotlight
with the Lawrence brothers, and they weren't going to probably toss Hunter out and keep Chase. Like, that one to me felt like he left because it was inevitable. They were going to move on from him anyway.
Yeah.
So that one made sense to me. This makes zero sense. He is such a KTM guy.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. And
right.
he would have to literally look me in the eye and make it make sense for me to break off of my view, which is that this is a bad move. I think it's a bad move.
All right, I've known you for 20 plus years. I thought I knew a lot about you, but I did not know that you played Richard Marx on the piano.
I'm a music guy. Like
I know you're a music guy, but I didn't know you played piano.
That was just a song that I learned when I was real young, and I can play the piano a little bit, chopsticks, and some of the some other songs. But I honestly, my wife and I, we've been doing this thing where we go out and date, and we haven't done that in a long time. But with my weekends off, I come home from club, we go out and date, and I'm not gonna lie, I was turned up a little bit, and there was a piano, and I just got on it and I started playing, and she pulled the phone out, and it was just kind of funny. And then the next day she's like, put it up on Instagram, and I kind of was like, kind of buzzed up, and she said, "Well, cut out some of the stuff on there because there was more to the video where I was
a
little looser." So I had to cut it and kind of cut out the buzzed part. But no, yeah, Richard Marx, "Right Here Waiting." It was one of my first favorite songs when I was a little kid, and I learned to play that when I was little, and so it was sitting there, and it was like Will Ferrell Will Ferrell. There's a drum set.
Yes, yeah, I got to play it. So, did you take like official piano lessons? Like, go to a piano instructor? Like,
no, zero. Just my mom taught me.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
Yeah.
How come you never played that in your band? How come you never played the
Oh man, I would say we didn't really have a piano role in the band. The band never had piano type stuff in it, really.
No shit, it was a full out rock band. It would be, although, hey dude, the 80s rock bands had ballads. You guys should have just dropped the super soft piano ballad. That was the big mistake.
We have one ballad. It's a song called "Are You Happy?" And my brother, of course, has double bass through the chorus. There's just no possible way that we were going to able to do a ballad without some metal in it. My brother took our one ballad and threw a bunch of double bass through it. Okay.
That was the turning point.
My brother hates anything that we do that isn't like metal.
Okay.
So of course he'll take any song of ours and throw something in there, and there's no way we would do a piano ballad. He would throw up.
Yeah, he would quit. You guys would be Oasis. You'd be broken up for 20 years before you got back together.
Exactly.
All right. This is the time for the Dunlop 5 questions. Best tires in the business, including the new Geomax line for all types of dirt. Check them out at Ride Dunlop. Daniel Blair, what is your favorite trophy?
Oh man, favorite trophy.
Let's just say the motocross trophies are fucking awesome, by the way. I mean, those are the coolest trophies ever. Supercross trophies need to step up their game.
Yeah, I was going to say the motocross ones are pretty wild. The supercross ones, dude, I have some local fairgrounds trophies better than those ones.
I think they put all those in one carry-on, like all classes for the season in one carry-on, and they just basically, I mean, they definitely need to, they need to see the uniqueness of the event. Like, that's what would be cool, the uniqueness of the event and the venue, and make it specific to that, to make it memorable.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I have a box full of like old stuff that I never unpacked when I moved here 3 years ago, but I do have an old trophy. I used to go down to Mexico and race this big race down in Fresnillo.
Okay.
And I remember having a really cool one from there. I would have to dig it up and see, but that's the only unique one that I could think about. I don't really have anything outside of that, but that was
okay.
I definitely had one from there. I just got to go find it. I don't know where it's at.
Do you have a I love you room or I love you wall with all your shit on it?
No, I do have a room, like my office, and I have a couple jerseys kind of hung up, but they're actually behind the door, so when the door opens up, you can't even see the jersey. I have, well, actually, let me look while I'm sitting here. I do have, no, I have one. Hold up. My office.
Okay.
I have my Geico jersey from when I rode for Geico. I have that in a frame. I actually gave that to somebody, and then I complained about it on a podcast that I didn't have anymore. And then they hit me up and sent it back to me in a frame. So I do have that. I have one Geico Honda jersey in a frame, and then some other cool like memorabilia looking stuff. But that's the only thing that I have of myself.
What is your most prized jersey that is not yours? I mean, do you have a collection? Do you have another rider's? Like a signed jersey?
Yeah, actually, since I'm in my closet, I have a very meaningful one because I have a few. I have a couple rider jerseys, but I actually have a jersey from one of my best friends, Eric Nye.
Okay.
And it was when he rode in Canada, so it's a Thor Royal Distributing Nye 12 jersey. That'd be the only one that I would say like is meaningful because he's like one of my best friends. So
Nye the science guy, I remember him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Eric Nye.
All right, how do you want to be remembered after you retire from the sport completely? Like after you walk away and you're done. How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be. I mean, this is honestly. I mean, I'll just be straight up. This is what I've always wanted to be since the very beginning of me kind of getting back into the sport. Because I did go away from it a little bit with the band stuff, and I came back and raced, and I was just a racer. But when I got into TV and kind of went into that final. Or the chapter I'm in now, which is the on the bike chapter, I've always wanted to grow the sport and make people like the sport more. So, like, if you like the sport like an 8.5, I want you to like it like an 8.6. And if the sport had a million fans. I want the sport to have 1,000,001 fans. Like I would love someday in the future people to look back and say, man, Daniel made the sport more fun, more enjoyable, and bigger in some way. And I don't know. I know I'm doing the more fun part a little bit now, but if I could help the sport get bigger in some way and grow and get to another level, I'd be very grateful, because that's authentically what I want. I want more people to know the sport. I want more people to like the sport. And I want people to feel what I feel about the sport, which is, crazy addiction. So
that's awesome.
I mean, honestly, that would be the answer, because I truly, truly want that. And so that it'd be that.
I love that. And I don't ever scroll down comments because the internet's so toxic. Like I don't even let myself do that. But all the 99% of your comments are positive stuff on your YouTube stuff. It's like that ratio is insane nowadays.
Yeah. And I think people are able to see that, again, authentically. I just love the sport like as much as them. I'm honestly a fan of the sport, who kind of lucked into a position that gets to do some cool things and know some cool people and gets to have a reach. That's pretty much it. I'm a fan that got to have a microphone, and they see that because it's so unforced. It really is who I am. I'm just kind of lucky.
I agree with that. And that's why I opened up with Amazing Human, because on and off the track, that's that's how I would put in your AMA Hall of Fame, whatever that would be for you. That would be one of my lines in there.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate your friendship too. And
hey, wait,
let's get you out the club. Get out the club.
There's one more question. This is specific to you. The Dunlop final question for you is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate Jerry Jones?
Which one? Where's the hate? A 1? Because I think he's a 1.
No, 10.
Or a
10
because I'm raging.
Yeah, 10 is that you are literally Barsha in the last corner of a potential win. That's 10.
If I was able to meet him face to face, I would tell him he's an idiot to his face. So.
That's it.
10?
That's all you. You're going to lose Parsons in the off season, and you signed your quarterback, one of the worst guys, to a $400,000 million contract for the next 5 years. That's all you've got. Is just you. That's it. I thought you'd have some more animation.
Oh no! What I would say is, hey, the only thing you ever did right was hire Jimmy Johnson, and ever since you got rid of Jimmy and you thought it was all about you and your ego took over, you've been nothing but a failure, and you've wasted 30 years of my life, you asshole.
I saw a TikTok or a Twitter video, X video, that when some lady told her husband, he says, if it snowed in Alaska for the last 30 years.
I saw it. You don't need to re-say it. It's been sent to me 100 times this week.
I didn't do it, but let me finish the joke. And the guy says, how much would you bet? He goes, I would bet everything. And she says, well, that's how many years the Cowboys haven't made the playoffs. So how much are you going to bet? And the dude's just like, bitch, I can't believe you went there. So.
Everybody sends that to me, and I just want to write back. You honestly think you're the first to send me this? You just want to pile on? You think you weren't first?
Yeah.
Or you think you were first? But no, I've been hit with that one 10 a day since that freaking Instagram post came out.
Hey, all in, baby. All in.
Yeah, all in, and then cheapest roster ever. But, Jerry, they know football, though.
Hey,
I could drill some oil, dude. He's a dummy.
All right. Well, I'm not going to, I didn't realize you stayed at club the whole week. So I'm sorry that I took an hour of your family time away. I'm not going to bother you for a while, but thank you for catching up. It's always good. Always got a big smile on my face whenever we do. And I promise you that I will see you at club, and I'll get the VIP. Hopefully I get a special credential where I can just follow you the whole day, like right next to you, like VIP, like J Mart would give me send me a star VIP thing. I get to watch be Daniel Blair VIP for the day.
Sounds good, dude. We'll take the day on together. Thanks, bro.
All right, love, bro. See you. Bye. All right, there we go. Daniel Blair, another fun interview with him as always. Man, the Daniel Blair Show, I don't watch much. I mean, you guys know that, basically there's so much information out there, so many things to do, but Daniel's is one of the shows that I watch. His Main Event podcast, and of course the Daniel Blair Show on YouTube is must see TV. You have to see it. It's one of those ones where his analytics are solid. They're not real long either. I mean, that's another thing too. You can digest them and knock them out. They're not 3 or 4 or 5 hours long, and where you have to fast forward through all the ads. But speaking of ads, thank to our sponsors. We don't ever beat you guys down with ads. But Racer X, MX Sports, of course, and their new W Wheels and their W Lab, their new custom shirt printing division at WLab.com. OGO Concept 2-rowers, and of course the great folks at Dunlop, the best tires in the business. Check them out at Ride Dunlop. So guys, we are back. When we're back, we're going to pick up a couple more shows. Been talking to hopefully Jed here in a little bit, but hopefully we'll get some of these guys back on the show. DMXS, we're back when we're back.
DMXS.
It even vibrates like real.
The Dead Motocrosser Society.
This is Davey the Duke Millsaps, and you're listening to DMXS Radio, the best damn station on the planet.
Kevin, when is the last time you dominated anything except for that tight perm you rocked in high school? Seriously, a perm, dude?
Yeah, I did have a perm, and don't judge me, David. Times were different. I'm not changing the subject at all, but our friends at Dunlop know all about dominating. Dunlop just captured their 10th year of Supercross championships. That's 10 straight years, a straight up decade of dominance from the best off-road tire in the universe, including Pluto, which, it's a planet, folks.
Hey, hashtag truth, brother, because I'm putting my fingers in there like a cool millennial. I'm cool. And they won a perfect 36 for 36 championships at Loretta Lynn's, which is the absolute amateur pinnacle for testing both rider and the machine.
Yeah, can you imagine having access to all the top pros for testing and development? Like, hey, Mr. Roxon, it's Mr. Dunlop on the phone here. We need your help testing the next generation of tires. Gee, that would be great. Danke Shane.
I didn't even know you spoke German,
yes,
dude.
I do.
Well played, amigo. I guess if our listeners just knew that we use Dunlop tires too, that would be enough. But I think we've made a great argument, Kevin, that this is the one and only tire you should be running.
Yeah, the top pros, amateurs, and DMXS Radio run Dunlop, and 9 out of 10 dentists recommend them too.
Cool.
So find the nearest Dunlop Pro dealer and get hooked up so you can hook up. And yes, I am copywriting that.
Get ready, America, because WUSA is your #1 source for quality wheel sets in America. WUSA offers all the top brands that you and the world's best racers know and trust, like Reed, Dungy, Millsaps, Tickle, Sealy, Short, and more. All rely and trust WUSA, because all our wheels are built right in our shop in Orange, California. And if you want it custom made for your bike, like the world's best freestyle riders, Renner, Deegan, Adams, Madison, Mason, Sherwood, and others, you can choose different spoke and nipple colors for a completely custom look that'll dazzle you. Off-road riding, WUSA can build you wheels for the absolute toughest of conditions. And W also offers DID and Excel rims, along with OEM replacement spoke and nipple kits for your stock hubs. Need brakes? W offers the industry's best oversized and standard brake kits from Galfer and Brembo. Just see your local dealer or visit us at WUSA.com. Hey, you can also download the most current W catalog from the iTunes App Store. WUSA, DUBYA USA. It doesn't get any better than us.
It's the cry of the lion, the burning in your soul, and it's the feeling that you